Now we have to continue the sitting meditation for 30 minutes. And then we have to change it into walking meditation techniques. Because I feel that we need to practice more times to be used to do with the sitting meditation and touching techniques. This touching techniques, I think, little bit different from any other meditation master's techniques you have practiced before. So I want you to used to do with it a little bit. So it's better we take sitting meditation for 30 minutes, and I want to change it into walking meditations. Is that right? Okay. So as I say, for sitting meditation, we need to prepare some of our body posture. So sit cross-legged and keep your upper body upright, and then keep your thumb together. And you should keep your eye closed, and you pay your attention, your mindfulness on touching. So you put your right hand on left hand, and then you keep your tongue together, and you pay your attention of mindfulness on the touching between both hands, right hand and left hand. So according to my experience, so if we sit cross-legged, we cannot sit for long times. So within 5 or 10 minutes, we feel very extremely pain in the upper body. So the experienced master suggest that we are better to place our right leg and the left leg placed on the ankle on the right. That means we have to put our leg like that, our leg like that. If we cross it like that, we feel pain, extremely painful within 5 or 10 minutes. So we're better to put our leg here, so like that, in this posture. So that means we can sustain longer our painful feeling in our body. for sitting meditations, please sit down with cross leg, or you place right leg in front of the left leg. Then you keep your upper body upright, and you put your right hand on left hand, and you keep your thumb together, and you pay your attention mindfully on the touching between the right hand and left hand. And then you know that touching every moment, every constitutive moment. Don't lose your mind on that object. If you want something, you remeditate on that and put it on that object. Don't pay your attention on the left hand or right hand. As I say, right hand or left hand is the concept. That is the names. The concept is the object of the Tranquility, Samatha, Bhavana, Tranquility meditation, not the object of the insight meditation, Vipassana Bhavana. Now we are practicing Vipassana Bhavana, not the Samatha Bhavana. That's why don't pay your attention on the hand, but the nature of the touching. If you feel hotness or warmth, so you pay attention to that. That is the nature of the rupa. Hotness or coldness is the nature of the rupa. You can pay attention to that. You can pay attention on that. And then you know, touching. But don't recite mentally or verbally. If you recite mentally or verbally, later you might pay your attention on that recitation. Recitation is a song. Song is a Panyacekka concept, not a reality. So if you pay attention on the song, maybe 1 hour later, or maybe 2 hours later, that song, the sign of the songs may appear in your mind. Then you get some signs of Tranquility meditation, Samatha Bhavana. The purpose of the Samatha meditation is to get the sign. But the purpose of the insight meditation is to obtain the knowledge. What are the knowledge of the insight meditation? Here I can say what knowledge is the insight meditation is Nama Rupa Prasiddhanama. The knowledge of the discerning the mind and matter separately at the moment of the meditation. This is the beginning knowledge of the cornerstone of insight meditations. Based on that knowledge, we have to develop another knowledges up to the mega and plum. So when you practice touching meditation, you must keep your mind on to get concentrated on that touching. If you can concentrate on that touching, later on you may know that, touching is rupa, matter. Knowing touching or awareness of touching is nama, mind. So that means you realize that nama rupa separately. So that's why I said that this technique is easier than any other techniques to realize nama and rupa. Nama and rupa. If you are used to with that technique, So you can practice any other objects too. For example, at hearing, at seeing, at hearing, at smelling, at eating, at touching, and at thinking also. But we start from the touching because this is very obvious. This is very obvious. So the object of the insight meditation is so many, but concept. We have so many realities. Where are so many realities? So at the moment of seeing, there arises so many realities. At the moment of hearing, at the moment of smelling, at the moment of the eating, at the moment of touching, at the moment of thinking. So many realities arises. So these realities are the object of insight. But we begin with touching only, because that touch is very obvious. So the Buddha, he encouraged us to practice insight meditation. The beginning from the obvious one, obvious object of realities. But he said that every realities, every case of reality must be the object of the insight. That way we can practice every reality as insight. But before we don't concentrate our mind on that object, we may feel that we wanna fall asleep. And in this case, we have to, put our effort seriously. Don't follow the normal practices. We put our effort. So we raise our mind to sustain every slow and torpor. This slothing and torpor is the obstacle of insight meditations. So this sleeping mind arises. So we lose our mindfulness on that object of insight. As a consequence, we cannot attain any concentration level. If we don't have a concentration level, we cannot realize it. We cannot attain to any realization of the nama and rupa. So it used to be everyone has such a severe or sleeping mind at the beginning of the meditation retreat, because our mind is not enough mature. But if we make effort to keep our mind on that object, so mindfully, very strongly, and then that slow and torpor disappear in our mind, and our mind becomes stable. Our mind can be focused on that object for longer than the beginnings. So if we wanna feel If we feel we want to sleep, we have to know, I want to sleep. That means we must be aware of that sleeping mind. Sleeping like that. Sleeping like that. We have to be aware of that. And then that sleeping mind disappears as soon as possible. So please make effort to keep your mind on that touching. To keep your mind on touching for a long time, that means you have a concentration. You have concentration. You know, to get the concentration, we must practice mindfully. We must practice with very strong effort. Actually, meditation means the working out the three cases of the mental factors. See, effort, viriya, mindfulness, sati, concentration, and samadhi. If we can keep these three cases of mental factors together, then our minds become very powerful. We can focus everything. We can recognize everything. Whatever object coming to our mind, whatever reality is rising in our mind, we can quickly recognize it, and we can practice it as object of the insight. So, that means if you wanna fall asleep, that means you need effort. Viriya. We need effort, viriya. So you put more effort on that. That means you put effort to keep your mind on objects. And then that is sleeping mental disappear. So that means if we don't have enough effort, you cannot be mindful of any things. So if your mindfulness is not strong, there won't be a concentration. There won't be a concentration. If we don't have enough concentration to realize the truth of mind and matter, so we can't attain any state of knowledge of the insight. That's why the viriya effort is very important mental factor in taking meditation, in the practicing meditation. Insight meditation or Tranquility meditations. No matter. But the matter is we must have very good effort, very sharpened effort, and a very strong effort. If we don't have effort, our minds are wandering. Our minds are wandering. Wandering mind means not mindfulness enough. Not mindfulness enough. So that's why make effort not to lose your point of attention. Once again, I want to let you, the newcomers, to practice, to know the techniques of the sitting meditations. So sit cross-legged and keep your upper body upright. And you put your right hand on that one and keep your tongue together. And then you pay your attention on touching nature between the both hands or right hand or left hand. That just means the touching techniques of the meditation. Why we need to practice these techniques? Why the previous master of the meditation used these techniques? So because this technique is very obvious and very easy, and so very precise to get basic knowledge of the answer. When we practice touching, our mind must be on the touching nature of the both hands. Don't pay your attention on the hand, right hand or left hand, but you must pay your attention on the touching nature of the both hands. Sometimes you may feel hotness or coldness or warm between the both hands. That hotness must be the object of the insight. That means you can pay your attention on that hotness. The hotness of reality of the matter. Every moment of your consciousness, your awareness, you must be aware that touching nature. No need to recite touching in your mind or and verbally. But it's quite enough if you are aware of that touching every moment. How long do we need to keep our mind on the touchings? It depends on how long you are taking meditations, how long you are touching your hand. If you can keep your mind on that touching nature, later on, you automatically realize that all touching is rupa, matter. Knowing touching is consciousness, citta. That means you attain the basic knowledge of the insight. The knowledge of the discerning mind and matter separately. That's why this technique is very simple. And this technique is quite enough if you are aware of the touching every moment. Awareness of the touching every moment means practicing insight meditations. But in that awareness, there includes three mental factors. Must include three mental factors. What are they? The effort or energy, the mindfulness, and the concentrations. Actually, practicing meditations means the working of these three mental factors together. If one of them is weak, our meditating consciousness is not strong. Maybe slow and torpor may form. So, especially when we take meditation, usually we meet something. So that is slow and thoughtful, or the sleepy mind. This sleepy mind is very distractions to every meditators. Everyone who take meditation may face these problems. How to solve that problems? It's easy. It's easy because you must know the cause of that sleepy mind. So why you want to sleep at meditation? It's because you need more effort. That means your effort is not stronger. Your effort is too weak. Because the weakness of your effort, your mind is not sharp, strong. That's why you want to fall asleep. So when you want to fall asleep, you make more effort. And then more mindful, and then more concentrated. That's why I said that the meditation is working together of these three mental factors. If one of the mental factors is weak, see, we cannot reach our goal of the concentration or something, the strong mind. So that's why it's very important to be take careful. So keep your mind on. But Buddhism said that every object of the realities should be the object of the insight. That means we can practice insight meditation on every object of the reality. Every object of the realities means the objects coming from the seeing, coming from the hearing, coming from the smelling, coming from the eating, coming from the touching, and coming from the thinking. But we must choose which one is very obvious. We must take obvious one and amongst very cases objects of the realities. So that's why in our body the touching is very obvious and very precise. That's why we choose this technique, touching. And this technique of the touching is conducive to quickly realize the minor matter, because in the touching technique we are practicing to know the touching by the mind. So knowing touching is consciousness and touching is matter. So at the one moment of practicing touching, the two things are include mind and matter. That means at the moment of the practicing one time, so we can realize the mind and matter separately, because so we pay attention to Buddha on that. So that's why mindfully keep on your mind on the touching nature of the both hands. Don't pay attention on the hand, right hand or left hand. But you're better to pay attention on the very touching. Very touching. Sometimes you may lose the touching artist. And sometimes you feel hardness of one and your touching. So you pay attention to that. Hardness or coldness of one between the both hands. Between the both hands. Finally, later on, you may realize automatically all the hardness of matter, knowing hardness of is mind. So when you automatically realize it like that, at the moment of the practicing touching, you are very sure. You're very sure that you realize the mind and matter. You realize the mind and matter. If you realize the mind and matter at the beginning, later on, the knowledge of fallings, rising and falling of mind and matter, so follow it. Follow it. So please make effort not to lose your point, not to lose your object. Please make effort. This technique is very simple, but very easy to realize the mind and matter. But at the beginning, it's a little bit difficult to practice, according to my experience. But don't worry, if you are used to be with it, it's very easy to take in a daily life. So please pay your attention on the touching. This is called Kayanupassana. Kayanupassana. But I have no time to explain the detail of the Kayanupassana meditations. So please know that this technique is Kayanupassana. Touching technique is Kayanupassana. Okay. About 5 minutes, I'm going to teach you the walking meditation. For walking meditations, you need to choose your meditation way, the straight way. It's no matter how long, but the way must be straight, not going wrong. So after you choosing your meditation way, at the end of that way you're standing, keeping your foot together, and then you must practice standing. That means you must pay attention on the standing nature. What is the standing nature? Standing nature means being upright over your body. This is standing nature. Sometimes that nature is very difficult to practice. So if so, you should pay attention on the touching of your foot on the ground floor. So at the standing moment, you can practice it. Touching. paying your attention on the touching with your foot with the ground floor. And then you start to walk. You start to walk. Your step must be the 20 or 25 centimeters, something like that. It depends on how tall you are. So when we take working meditation, we have to pay our attention on the 3 distinct stages. That means lifting the foot, and the pushing forward the foot, and the placing it on the ground floor. Every stage of these situations, we must focus our mind on. But we must be careful that we don't pay our attention on the foot or on the ground floor, but movement, lifting movement, and the stretching movement, and the putting down movement. And at the end of the way of the meditation, we must stand, keeping our foot together, and we must practice standing. And then you must turn back your body. And at moment of turning back, you must practice turning back and turning. And then you must stand again, keeping your foot together. And then you have to start to walk. Lifting moment, stretching moment, and then putting down moments. You have to pay your attention on each moment, not to lose. That's the way of practicing working meditations. After 20 minutes of working meditations, we will have to practice again the sitting meditation for 30 minutes. And then that time that I will give my lectures on the sensation with non-personal. Sensation with non-personal. Okay, it should be time for walking meditation, I think. We gotta practice working meditation about 20 minutes, and then we go back to sitting meditation about 30 minutes. But then I will give my lecture on the sensation practice. Usually your way for meditation or the working is not matter how long, but must be straight. Must be straight, no turn around or something like that. And mindfully you should walk. At the beginning of the way you must stand, and then you should practice standing, standing, standing. You must be aware of the standing nature, and then you begin to walking. At lifting your foot, you must be aware, lifting, lifting, and then stretching your foot. You must know, and then stretching, stretching. And put it down, your foot, and put your foot down, and then you must, in that case you must be aware, put it down, put it down. Every stages of the stiff, you must be aware, you must be mindful. Don't walk mindfulness. Don't walk mindfulness, because this is training courses. If we don't understand clearly here, it's very difficult for you to practice in your home, in your daily life. I'm training here because you can practice it whenever you are, wherever you are. That's why it's very important for you to understand clearly how to take it, how to practice it. So today meditation is mindfulness meditation. So every actions of the your body, you must be mindful. You must be mindful of all your actions. Why we need to be mindful of all our actions? Because we need to realize the mind and matter as every actions of our body or mind. That's why every step you have to be mindful. Don't walk mindfulnessly. Please be mindful and please be quiet. That means slowly walk, mindfully walk, not quickly. If you walk quickly, that means you are not enough mindful. That means you are not mindful enough to know you're walking. You're walking. So please be mindful of every stage of your step. At the standing, you must be aware, I'm standing. What is the standing? Standing is keeping the body upright. That nature. Don't pay attention to your body. Don't pay attention to your foot. Don't pay attention to the whole body at the moment of standing. But you must be aware just the nature of the standing. Bare nature of the standing. And then you must be mindful, standing. How are you standing? You must be standing. Don't think about anything. At the standing, you must keep your foot together. And you must be mindful, standing. At the walking, don't look too loud. Please take a look at front of you about the Portuguese. Don't look too loud. If you look too loud, your attention go to that sign, the visible objects, and then you may lose your point of practicing. You may lose your mindfulness on the objects, primary objects. That's very important in taking meditations. Every stage you must be mindful. Every step you must be mindful. Must be mindful every step. And at the end of the way, you must be standing, and then you must know standing. And then you must turn back. At the moment of turning back, you must know I'm turning back. And then you start to walk. You must know I'm walking. At the walking, you must know every 3 stages of the step. Lifting moment, and the stretching moment, and the put it down moment. Yeah, you must be know spreadly, clearly, every 3 distinct stages of the walking. Lifting your foot, stretching your foot, put it down,